President Trump is ramping up his push for an end to the conflict between Israel and Hamas. He met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at the White House last night to discuss next steps in ceasefire negotiations. The recent U.S. attack on Iran was also on the agenda. We've got team coverage on this for you this morning. CBS News senior foreign correspondent Elizabeth Palmer is in Tel Aviv with the response from Israel. But let's begin at the White House with our chief White House correspondent, Nancy Cordes. Nancy, good morning to you. Tell us what came of last night's meeting.
Errol, good morning. Good to see you. Well, this meeting was key because President Trump says that he believes that a ceasefire can finally be reached this week. And talks continue in Doha and Qatar this week as all sides try to make that happen. And so that was at the top of the agenda last night when he was meeting with Prime Minister Netanyahu, who will be sitting down with the House Speaker today, and other officials here in Washington. We know that a framework for a proposal exists, and according to an official who has viewed that proposal and is familiar with it, it's very specific. It would involve a 60-day ceasefire, during which time 10 Israeli hostages still being held by Hamas would be released, as well as some bodies of hostages that were killed. Palestinian prisoners would be released by the Israelis as well. Hostilities would obviously be put on hold with some Israeli troops coming out of Gaza as the two sides work to try to get through some of these very, very thorny issues that have always made it difficult to reach a more permanent solution involving the future of Hamas, the future of Gaza, and all the rest. And so that is what the White House very much wants to see happen this week. Steve Witkoff, the president's Middle East envoy, is heading to Qatar to try to make that happen. But President Trump has said many times before that he thinks that all sides are close, and then nothing has come of it. So we'll see if they're able to reach a breakthrough this time around, Errol.
Yeah, very good point. Nancy Cordes at the White House for us. Nancy, thank you. We want to jump over now to CBS News senior foreign correspondent Elizabeth Palmer in Tel Aviv. Elizabeth, good morning to you. You know, yesterday I was speaking with the parent of an Israeli hostage who had encouraging words for the president, almost compliments, saying only you can get this done, and sounded more critical of the Israeli prime minister, saying it's your responsibility to make sure these hostages come home. So what is the reaction domestically to this White House meeting yesterday?
Well, there is hope. As Nancy said, we've been here before, close but not close enough. So people are cautiously hopeful. But there's no question the country wants this war to end, or the overwhelming majority, and to see the hostages come home. That's what it's all about here in Israel. Nancy mentioned that 10 hostages will be released in the 60-day ceasefire, according to this draft proposal. That's only half of the ones that are left. There are 20 living ones believed to be still in captivity, more than 600 days now. And so there are families all over this country who are braced for the bitter disappointment of discovering that their loved one won't make it on this list. However, it will be seen as a step toward some kind of lasting stability, and that's a net plus.
And what might this mean for the future of civilians in Gaza? They remain under dire humanitarian straits.
That is the biggest and most insoluble problem. In the 60 days, obviously, there'll be a flood of aid that would come in under the terms of this ceasefire. They would be able to relax, sleep properly for the first time in more than a year and a half. But the really tough thing is to come up with a roadmap for the day after the end of the 60 days. And that's where Hamas and Israel appear to be very far apart. Hamas wants Israel to commit to not restarting the war at the end of the ceasefire, which has happened before, as you recall. And Israel just does not want to make that commitment.
Approaching 2:50 in the afternoon there in Tel Aviv. Elizabeth Palmer with the latest for us. Liz, thank you.